Hello. At the same time as spearheading the reconstruction of the city churches lost in the Great Fire, Christopher Wren was involved with 3 churches in the growing West End of London, among them the Church of St James Piccadilly, which we mentioned in our last video in connection with Grinling Gibbons, who carved the splendid reredos, as well as the organ case and the font. Fonts in Wren's churches, typical of mid and late 17th century post-Reformation fonts, have small bells, reflecting a change in the rite from partial immersion of the infant to a simple sprinkling of water. Wren was commissioned to design St James in 1672. The church was consecrated in 1684 and a new parish of St James created the following year. The area was developed by Henry Jermyn, Earl of St Albans. Jermyn was a courtier and close to Queen Henrietta Maria. During the Commonwealth he accompanied the Queen to France and served as a secretary. Persistent rumours that he was the father of Charles II have never been substantiated. After the restoration of the monarchy, he was appointed Lord Chamberlain and was given a parcel of land behind the Mall. Jermyn's plan for a residential development, a square of grand houses set around an open green space, with more modest houses in streets behind, a church, and ideally a marketplace, was the trend-setting forerunner of the London Square, which has become such a defining feature of the city's West End. Wren's St James, restored after the Blitz, when the spire was replaced in fiberglass, is red brick with Portland stone dressings. A large galleried nave has a tunnel vault with cross vaults over the aisles, allowing extra light from the signature Wren round-headed windows. The galleries are supported on Doric columns and the vaults by Corinthian columns. The east end has a 2-storey Venetian window. The interior design shares similarities with St Clement Danes in the Strand, completed by Wren a couple of years earlier in Portland stone on the site of a dilapidated medieval predecessor. The spire was a later addition by James Gibbs, and the bell stage openings have what are known as Gibbs surrounds, a classical element revived at the Renaissance and popularised in Britain by James Gibbs. There are variations, but typically a Gibbs surround consists of a framework around a door or window of alternating, projecting and flat masonry blocks. Reconsecrated in 1958 after restoration following bomb damage in the war, St Clement Danes became the central church of the Royal Air Force, a place of remembrance for all who lost their lives in the service. The development of Soho, from open fields into a built-up suburb, began in the 1670s. St Anne's Church in Dean Street was built by William Talman in collaboration with Christopher Wren. A brick and Portland stone tower, which had been restored in 1801, was the only part of St Anne's to survive the Blitz. With no plans to rebuild, the site was deconsecrated and the remains of the gutted walls removed. For a time, the tower was used as a chapel. Then a decision was taken to rebuild, and in 1990 Princess Anne laid the foundation stone and a new building in the classical style of the 17th century rose on the site. Wren's other ecclesiastical work in West London was the chapel at the Royal Hospital Chelsea beside the River Thames, commissioned from Wren to accommodate veteran soldiers. Wren initially designed a figure court, a quadrangle to house 412 people. As work progressed, it became clear more space was needed, and a further 2 quadrangles were added, one on each side of figure court. The materials are brown brick with red brick detail and Portland stone. A colonnaded cloister with benches facing onto figure court has a projecting pedimented Doric portico with a cupola. The larger-than-life gilded statue of Charles II, dressed as a Roman emperor, as he is on the monument, is by Grinling Gibbons. The Royal Hospital Chapel has oak-panelled walls and a barrel vault with a half-dome over the apse, which has a painting of the Resurrection by Sebastiano Ricci. A 3-decker pulpit has been replaced, but otherwise the interior looks very much as when it was consecrated in 1691. It features Wren's signature round-headed windows and black and white marble floor. Wren was commissioned by Queen Mary to build a counterpart to the Chelsea Royal Hospital for veterans of the Royal Navy at Greenwich, and that will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.